please be seated. Chancellor, Presidents, Dean, Heads of School, Faculty, graduates and your guests, you're all very welcome to the conferring ceremonies this afternoon in RCSI. Before declaring opening the ceremonies of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland and the National University of Ireland, may I first introduce our platform party. To the table to the front, from your right, is Dr. Maurice Manning, Chancellor of the National University of Ireland, Mr. Declan McGee, President of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland. At the next row back, again from your right, is Dr. Attracta Halpin, Registrar of the National University of Ireland, Professor Frank Murray, President of the Royal College of Physicians of Ireland, Professor Oscar Traynor, Professor of Postgraduate Surgical Education at RCSI, Ms. Judith Gilroy, Associate Director for Academic Affairs, RCSI, Ms. Fiona Mitchell, Regulation and Records Manager, RCSI, Dr. Francis Horgan, Course Director in the MSc in Neurology and Gerontology at RCSI, Professor David Smith, Director of the MSc in Healthcare Ethics and Law at RCSI, Dr. Eva Doherty, Director of Human Factors and Patient Safety, RCSI, Professor Marie Guyden, Head of the School of Physiotherapy at RCSI, Professor Niamh Moran, Head of the School of Postgraduate Studies at RCSI, Professor Hannah McGee, Dean of the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, RCSI, and my name is Professor Cathal Kelly, CEO of RCSI. Will the graduates now please stand for the opening of the conferring ceremony?
Universitas Hiberniae Nationalis, Pre Honorabilis Cancellariae, totaque Universitas, haec comitia universitaria, hodie convocata sunt, ut he mulieres maxime eximiae, et he viri maxime eximii ad grados academicos admittantur. This is a meeting of the National University of Ireland for the purpose of conferring degrees. The graduands will be presented by Professor Niamh Moran, Head of Postgraduate Studies at RCSI, and the degrees will be conferred by Dr. Maurice Manning, Chancellor of the National University of Ireland.
I now declare open the conferring ceremony for the award of degrees of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland. I'd like to start by inviting the Dean of the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, Professor Hannah McGee, to come forward to recite the graduate declaration.
I could ask the graduates to recite after me the declaration which you'll find on page 14 of your conferring booklet. I acknowledge my position at the forefront of my field of learning and scholarship. I understand my responsibility to use this learning to contribute and lead in my community. I will maintain the utmost respect for human life. I will respect the confidential information that is entrusted in me. I will not permit considerations of age, disease or disability, creed, ethnic origin, gender, nationality, political affiliation, race, sexual orientation, social standing, or any other factor to interfere with my duties in my chosen profession. I will not use my knowledge to violate human rights and civil liberties, even under threat. I will respect the hard-won scientific gains of those in whose steps I walk and gladly share such knowledge with those that follow. I will promote high standards of practice, lifelong education and research in the interests of human health. I make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honour. Thank you, and take your seats.
For the award of the degree of Master of Surgery, MCH, Pre Honorabilis Cancellare, totaque Universitas, presento vobis has meas filias et hos meas filios, quos omnes si tam moribus, quam doctrina habiles et aeneas esse que admittor, ad graduam magisteri in chirurgia, idique tibi fide mea tester expondeo, totaque academiae.
Ego auctoritata mihi concessa, admitto vos ad gradum magisterii in chirurgia.
I invite the head of the School of Postgraduate Studies at RCSI, Professor Niamh Moran, to come forward to introduce the graduates.
I will now call on each of the graduates to come forward to receive their parchment. Kevin McSorley for his research entitled Osteogenic Potential and Safety of Efferent B2, transfected with polyethylenimine gene activation. Next, Firaz Ayoub. Paul Cullen. Sami Abed El Wahab. Eamon Francis. Rebecca Gardiner. Sean Gardiner. Paul Healy. Emma Keane. Michael Kelly. Niall McGoldrick. Timothy Murray. Nigel Phelan. Patrick Rowland. And Mark Wilson.
For the award of the degree of Master of Science, Pre Honorabilis Cancellare, totaque Universitas, presento vobis has meas filias et hos meas filios, quos omnes si tam moribus, quam doctrina habiles aeneas esse, qui admittor ad graduam magisteri scientiae, idique tibi fide mea testor expondeo, totaque academiae.
Ego auctoritata mihi concessa, admitto vos ad gradum magisterii CNCA.
I invite Professor Niamh Moran, head of the School of Postgraduate Studies, to introduce the graduates.
I will now call on each of the graduates to come forward and receive their parchment. And we will read the title of the research that the participant did in order to earn this degree. Faril Al-Dassa for the research called From Genes to Public Health, Islamic Ethical Framework for Applications of Genetic Technology and Prevention of Sickle Cell Disease in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Avril Maria Byrne for her work entitled The Role of Assisted Decision-Making Capacity Bill in Dementia Secondary to Neurodegeneration, Ethical and Legal Implications. Faith Cranfield for her research entitled Dying Matters, Euthanasia, Assisted Suicide and the Role of the Doctor. Paula Curtin for her research entitled Midwives, Masters and Mothers-to-Be, an exploration of how history has influenced childbirth in Ireland. Sinead Keevy for her research entitled Should Human Genes Be Patented? A Comparative Analysis Between Europe and the US. Aman Khalil for work entitled Advanced Directive Ethical and Legal Issues. Kathleen King for work entitled The Informed Consent Process Used in the Area of Clinical Research, Is It Still Fit for Purpose? Connie McGilloway for her work entitled Barriers Faced by Adults with Intellectual Disabilities Who Experience Sexual Assault, a Systematic Review and Meta-Synthesis. Denise Shipley for work entitled The Decision-Making Process on Palliative Sedation from a Healthcare Professional Perspective. Maciek Szydłowski for work entitled Fulfilling the Rights to Health and Healthcare of Transgender Persons. And Kathleen A. Walsh for work entitled Making the Case for a Shared Code of Conduct for Nurses, Midwives, Medical Practitioners and Pharmacists.
Professor Marie Guyden will introduce, head of the School of Physiotherapy, RCSI, will introduce graduates the degree of Master of Science in Neurology and Gerontology.
I will now call on each graduate to come forward to receive your parchment. Anne Belton for research entitled The Effect of a Balanced Exercise Class on Activity Limitations in People with Parkinson's Disease. Sinead Considine for research entitled The Concurrent Validity of the 7-item BBS-3P with Other Clinical Measures of Balance in a Sample of Elderly Community Dwelling Adults. Sarah Durkin for research entitled An Investigation of the Factors Associated with Community Ambulation in Chronic Stroke. Mairead McDade for research entitled The Views and Experiences of Physiotherapists on Physiotherapy Service Provision for People with Neurological Conditions in Primary Care, a Qualitative Study. Mary Nolan for research entitled Frailty and its Association with Rehabilitation Outcomes, an Irish prospective cohort study of a post-acute older population. And Emer O'Connell for research entitled Assessment of the Association Between Fear of Falling and Dual Task Performance in People with Parkinson's Disease, a cross-sectional observational study.
For the degree of Master of Science in Human Factors and Patient Safety, Mary McComsky for her work entitled Ego Depletion, Does It Occur in Surgeons?
And now call on Professor Niamh Moran, Head of the School of Postgraduate Studies, to introduce graduates for degree of Master of Science, MSc.
My apologies. Anne Belton. Okay. And Colin Brannigan for his research entitled The Effect of Novel Footwear Telemetry Antenna System on the Spatiochemical Characteristics of Gait and Running. Elizabeth Brindley for her work entitled Proteomic Characterization of Post-Translational Modifications of Histone Proteins in the Prenatally Stressed Mouse Brain. Barbara Coffey for her work entitled Targeting Siglec-7 and Siglec-9 with Sialic Acid-Coated Nanoparticles. Lindsay Killian for work entitled Cardiovascular Actions of Drugs Classed as Stimulants. Suzanne Moore for work entitled What is the Impact of Interventions Targeted at Health Literacy on Patient Outcomes, Medication Adherence and Health-Related Quality of Life. Olivia Nisi for work entitled A Cross-Sectional Survey of Constipation Prevalence and Laxative Use amongst Older Adults Residing in a Nursing Home Setting in Ireland. And Elizabeth Zink for work entitled Software Development of the Use of a Mathematical Prediction Tool for Chemotherapy Responsiveness in a Clinical and in a Research Environment.
For the award of the degree of Doctor of Medicine, MD, Prae Honorabilis Cancellariae, totaque Universitas, presento vobis hanc mei filiam et hos meus filios, quos omne si tam moribus, quam doctrina habiles, et aeneas esse qui admitter ad graduam doctoratus in medicinia, idique tibi fide meo testor, expondeo totaque academiae.
Ego auctoritata mihi concessa, admitto vos ad gradum doctoratus in medicina.
Professor Niamh Moran, Head of the School of Postgraduate Studies, will introduce the graduates.
I now call on each graduate to come forward to receive their parchment. Christina Buckley, for research entitled The Impact of Innate Ability and Objective Scoring Methods on Proficiency-Based Training in Minimally Invasive Surgery. And Pankaj Gupta for work entitled Type 2 Diabetes and Inflammation, the role of toll-like receptor signaling in pathophysiology of diabetes and complications related to diabetes.
For the award of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD, Pre Honorabilis Cancellariae, Totaque Universitas, presento vobis has meus filias et hos meus filios, quos omni si tam moribus, quam doctrina habiles et neus esse, qui admittor ad graduam doctoratus philosophiae, idique tibi fide mea testor, expondeo toti academiae.
Ego auctoritatem mihi concessa, admitto vos ad gradum doctoratus philosophiae.
Professor Niamh Moran will introduce our PhD graduates.
I now invite each graduate to come forward to receive their scripts. Barbara Klein, for her work entitled Effectiveness of Medicines Review with Web-Based Pharmaceutical Treatment Algorithms in Reducing Potentially Inappropriate Prescribing in Older People in Primary Care, a cluster randomized trial. Karen Coughlin, for her study entitled In Vitro and In Vivo Elucidation of AMPK as a New Therapeutic Target in Amyotrophic Lateral Sclerosis. Colin Davenport, for his work entitled The Role of Osteoprotegerin and Receptor Activator of NF-kappa B ligand in Vascular Calcification and the Influence of Insulin and liraglutide on this process in Type 2 Diabetes mellitus. Lorna Farley, for her work entitled Myelin Abnormalities in Schizophrenia, Insights from Proteomic Investigations of Postmortem Schizophrenia and Preclinical Animal Models. Kai Lloyd Griffith, for his work entitled Investigation into the Potential of Human Amniotic Fluid-Derived Stem Cells for Use in Orthopedic Tissue Engineering. Guillaume Meseret, for his work entitled The P2X7 Receptor as a New Potential Target to Treat Neonatal Seizures. Anna Chiara Mitrugno, for her work entitled Molecular Exploration of Tumour Cell-Induced Platelet Activation and its Relevance in the Treatment of Cancer. Emily Petit, for her work entitled Phenotypic Characterization of a Novel Mutant Mouse with Targeted Deletion of Dysbindin 1A in relation to the schizophrenia risk gene DTNBP1. Elaine Quinlan, for her work entitled Controlled Release of Bioactive Molecules from Collagen-Based Scaffolds for Bone Repair. James Reynolds, for his work entitled Identification of Novel Contributors to Seizure Pathophysiology Using Epigenetic, Post-Transcriptional and Proteomic Analysis. Gemma Smith, for her work entitled Communicable Diseases, Disease Screening for Asylum Seekers and Refugees in Ireland, an analysis of professional stakeholders' insights into knowledge and action. Julia Unterscheider, for her work entitled Intrauterine Fetal Growth Restriction, New Insights into Prenatal Detection, Definition, Surveillance and Delivery. and Linda Williams for her work entitled Analysis of the Effects of HSF1 Inhibition in Colon Cancer.
Pre honorabilis cancellariae, totaque universitas, ceremoniis rite confectis, queso facias finem, huius convocationis universitariae. That completes the NUI and RCSI conferring ceremonies.
In the first official use of her title, it's a great pleasure to invite Dr. Karen Coughlin to come forward and address the Assembly as class valedictorian.
Good afternoon, Presidents, Professors, Dean, Chancellor and Register, fellow postgraduates, family and friends. Welcome to graduation take 2, maybe take 3, for the eternal students that just can't seem to stop. The reason I wanted to give this closing statement today is because I've enjoyed my postgraduate studies at RCSI so much, and because today is such a happy day. I don't know about you, but I love a good quote, and one of my favourite is, "Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire." Postgraduate studies are not always easy. We all know the tiring feeling of working late nights, the frustration of computers crashing, microscopes breaking, media bottles mysteriously disappearing. And we've also faced bigger disappointments, experimental mistakes that meant months more work to repeat, papers being rejected, or sometimes even worse, more corrections. But on this great learning journey, I think we all can see how it is our attitude to these disappointments and frustrations that really make us who we are. The day I realised that my work is not just for me or my personal gain was the day I learned how to cope with my PhD. Yes, I wanted this qualification and the training, the skills, the educational experience, and everything else that comes with it. But this work, the work of a scientist, is the everlasting want to discover something new, to have a greater understanding of things, and in medical research to figure out how to help people and how to improve health. One day we may all win Nobel Prizes or publish the greatly sought after Nature publication, but on a smaller scale, the work we contribute to the scientific community and medical research in a small way makes a difference, and that is a great success too. Whatever challenges we've faced over the last few years, big or small, we've overcome them, and today we are successfully graduating and finally finishing college after many, many years. We have contributed to the scientific community and hopefully have made a difference. It's a great day, and I most certainly feel that a fire has been lit. Thank you all for being here today to celebrate with us. We're delighted. At the core, the highlight of this learning journey has definitively been made by the amazing people we've met, the excellent colleagues we've worked with, and the great friends we've made along the way. RCSI is a wonderful place to work, from the smile waiting for you at the front door when you come in every morning, to the canteen staff letting you skip the queue of undergraduates at lunch, to sometimes very difficult but inspiring professors, the overworked but extremely helpful postdocs, and the postgraduate school always willing to lend a hand. In life, we learn that you get back what you put in, and if you delved into life in RCSI, you were very fortunate to make a great return. In my personal experience, when I needed help and guidance, it was always there, and for that I am very grateful. So on behalf of all the postgraduates and everyone graduating today, I would like to thank all the excellent staff at RCSI for creating such a friendly, helpful and encouraging working environment for us all. During the last few years, our families and friends have also been a great support. 4 years of postgraduate study, what a marathon. In the first year of my PhD, I did not know how I was going to do 4 more years of study. However, a little reassurance from family and friends got me over that worry. We can all be scared at times for whatever reasons, but a little bit of support and encouragement, always there from our families and loved ones, helps us through those tough times. And finally, we've arrived here, which is just amazing. To our friends, always there to have a laugh with when we needed them, and who now we know must really love us, because they were most certainly not in it just for the money. Thank you for sticking with us and putting up with our science rants. I know we probably all owe you a good few dinner and drinks, and that's when it's going to start paying them back now. So again, on behalf of everyone, I would like to thank all our families and friends for your love, support and encouragement. We could not have done this without you. So to finish on an unavoidably cheesy but good note, I'm going to end with a quote from Dr. Seuss. You all have brains in your head, you all have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own and you know what you know, and you are the only one who will decide where you go. We all look forward to the next chapter in our lives and fondly look back at everything we've accomplished over the last few years in RCSI. So on behalf of the postgraduates, thank you to everyone for the help and especially celebrating with us here today.
It's my great pleasure to introduce the President of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland, Mr. Declan McGee.
Chancellor of the National University of Ireland, President of the Royal College of Physicians of Ireland, Members of Council, Registrars of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland and the National University of Ireland, Dean of the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, Heads of Schools of Postgraduate Studies and Physiotherapy, academic colleagues, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, and especially our new graduates. It is a great pleasure and privilege for me to welcome you all here this afternoon as President of the College of Surgeons to this special occasion for all of us. We also extend a warm welcome to your family and friends, many making their first visit to our college, who have shared your journey and have come to share in the celebration of your achievements. The College of Surgeons has been in existence since 1784, so I thought it would be interesting to have a look at what was happening in Ireland and Europe at that time. Grattan's Parliament had just been established, restoring legislative independence to the Irish House of Commons. Waterford Glass had begun production the previous year. The last Irish grey wolf had just been exterminated, probably in Carlow, our Dean's home place. The first Irish manned flight in a hot air balloon took place just 1 year after the world's first ever flight in the Bois de Boulogne in Paris. I was fascinated by the speed of adoption of new technology back then. And tragically, 1 year later, in 1785, a crashed balloon set fire to approximately 100 houses in Tullamore and is described as the world's first aviation disaster. So even then, there were risks associated with being an early adopter. Of course, more significantly, within a very few years, our founders would have closely followed the beginning of the French Revolution, followed by our own 1798 insurrection. Getting back to 1784, the college was founded to improve standards of surgical care in Ireland and was therefore involved in surgical education and training from the outset. Very shortly after, it commenced education of medical doctors. Its remit widened with the establishment of postgraduate faculties of dentistry, nursing and radiology, and more recently sports and exercise medicine. In recent years, the college commenced undergraduate education in physiotherapy and pharmacy. These initiatives enabled RCSI to become a complete and comprehensive health sciences institute, but not without one additional development which I haven't mentioned yet, namely the development and nurturing of a dynamic school of postgraduate studies. Our November conferring ceremonies are a very happy time for our college, and this year's event with more than 1,000 graduates is our largest ever. Most important within that number are you, the 30 graduates from the School of Postgraduate Studies, also the highest number from that school. Not all could be here for today's event, but congratulations to all of you and well done on your incredible achievements and endeavours. Reflecting the breadth of our health sciences offering, our graduates this afternoon include career scientists, doctors, physiotherapists and nurses. The theses across the awards are in subjects from the basic sciences, biological sciences, medicine, surgery, population health, patient safety and human factors, ethics, nursing, physiotherapy and medical education, surely a potentially fertile field in an institution such as ours. We acknowledge the enormous effort of research and intellectual input that has gone into obtaining these degrees, which have been examined against the highest international standards. All of you have and will contribute substantially to the RCSI research profile, so important nowadays, and of which we are justifiably proud. You have done this by publications in top journals and prestigious awards at international conferences. We wish you every success as you pursue careers in your chosen fields and continue to advance the frontiers of our knowledge and understanding for the benefit of our patients. And know that, as you do so, you will be excellent ambassadors for the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland. It is a tautology to state that researchers must have an inquiring mentality, must be prepared to question the accepted position, and to quote David Smith in your booklets, citing Jacob Bronowski, to challenge the wisdom of the ages. A recent speaker at the college described a very personal anecdote in which he had sought consolation following the death of his young son by seeking out those teachers and coaches who had interacted with his son in his school and sporting life. The boy's second-class teacher recalled bringing the class through the nativity story as she had done each December with her classes over the previous 20 years. She described how Joseph and Mary lived in Nazareth, went to Bethlehem, Jesus was born, the shepherds visited, followed by the 3 wise men bearing gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. When the baby Jesus was fit to travel, the family made the return journey to Nazareth. There they lived a simple and poor life because Joseph was a simple, poorly paid carpenter. At this, our speaker's son put up his hand and asked, "Teacher, why were they poor? What did they do with the gold from the wise men?" So don't be afraid to ask the question that no one else has. For the first time in this college, all graduates, doctors, nurses, physiotherapists, pharmacists, and you, clinical and laboratory biomedical scientists, have made an identical ethical declaration based on the ancient Hippocratic Oath. This is an acknowledgement that all of us, clinicians and scientists alike, toiling in the area of biomedical research, must always behave ethically and have as the focus of our endeavours the well-being of our patients, proximate or remote. A great hero of mine is Dennis Burkett, an Irish surgeon from Fermanagh, my own home place, who toiled in East Africa 50 years ago with minimal resources and no formal scientific training, but managed to discover the epidemiology, cause and treatment of a common fatal childhood cancer, now called Burkitt's lymphoma. I will leave you with his favourite admonition, which is apt for all of us, clinicians and scientists alike. Attitudes are more important than abilities. Motives are more important than methods. Character is more important than cleverness. And the heart takes precedence over the head. Thank you.
It's a great pleasure to introduce a great supporter of RCSI's, the Chancellor of the National University of Ireland, Dr. Maurice Manning.
President of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland, Registrar, Dean, colleagues, graduates, ladies and gentlemen. As Chancellor of the National University of Ireland, I'm delighted to be here in the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland for this afternoon's conferring ceremony. This is the last ceremony of 4 conferring ceremonies over the course of yesterday and today, a sign of the continuing growth of RCSI and the increasing diversity and reputation of its programmes. The connection between the National University of Ireland and the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland goes back to 1977, and for us in the NUI, it has been a valuable and enriching experience. I am delighted, on behalf of the university, I'm delighted to welcome those of you who are graduating today with master's degrees and doctorates. My warmest congratulations on your very fine achievements. I'm also pleased to see so many of your friends and family here to share this occasion and share this celebration, and I'm sure that they're very proud of what you have accomplished. In this ceremony, we're conferring degrees on learners who have successfully completed Masters and Doctoral programmes here at RCSI. Whilst you come from quite disparate fields of scholarship and expertise, having completed studies at postgraduate level, you share in common the potential to make a truly transformative impact across a wide range of our health services through cutting-edge research and on the development of new knowledge and techniques. For the university, the conferring ceremony is not just a celebration of your individual achievements, but also of the tremendous potential you offer to develop and shape ideas and innovations that will make a positive and lasting impact on our society. When we reflect on the astonishing achievement of the European Space Agency last week, the historic landing of a robot probe on a comet 4 billion miles away, hurtling through space at 40,000 miles per hour, we are reminded of the infinite potential of human endeavour. In this respect, we're particularly proud of our senior scholars in the health sciences, whose advances have such profound and meaningful impact on all of our lives. The diagnostic, therapeutic, and curative innovations developed within your professions have quite simply transformed human existence. The National University of Ireland and each of our member institutions strongly believe that research is an essential function of the modern university, particularly in the health sciences. In recognition of the importance the NUI attaches to this aspect of its mission, the university offers a wide range of scholarships and funding awards to facilitate students in the constituent bodies in undertaking this work. Indeed, RCSI students are regular recipients of these funding awards. The high quality of medical care we enjoy today is built on years of research by students and medical professionals investigating diverse aspects of care, including the translational work of the kind carried out in RCSI's own research institute. The value of this work cannot be overestimated. It has eliminated many once life-threatening conditions. It has transformed the quality of life of people living with debilitating injuries and conditions, and it has informed and influenced policy decisions at national level. The ongoing importance of this work was made all the more apparent in recent months as we witnessed the unfolding Ebola crisis that has devastated regions of West Africa. The human impact of the outbreak has been huge. As in so many other fields, RCSI graduates and academics have made an important contribution to our national discourse and response to the threat. The university takes great pride in the important contributions its graduates have made to this body of knowledge, and we look forward to your continuing advances in the years ahead. Now, I'm very much aware of the commitment that has been required of the individuals who have graduated today. Years of hard work, commitment, persistence. It is not easy to combine professional life with the rigours of postgraduate study. You can justly take pride in your achievements. I offered my warmest congratulations to all who have been conferred. I hope that you will soon see the benefits of your studies in your professional lives. And for the parents, families and friends who are here, this conferring day is also a very special day in various ways. You have supported our graduates and contributed to their wonderful achievements. I know that they are truly appreciative of all your assistance and encouragement, and it's very fitting that you were here to share this day with them. Finally, may I just refer to the very elegant address of the valedictory address of Dr. Karen Coughlin and echo what she has to say about the ethos and the spirit of the College of Surgeons in Ireland. I go to many universities, but nowhere have I seen such camaraderie, the concern people have for each other, the pride they take in RCSI, and the affection they have, the respect they have for their teachers and lecturers and mentors. It is something which is a hallmark of RCSI, and long may it continue. For the President, the Dean, the Registrar, and all the staff of RCSI, this is also a joyous occasion. You can feel considerable satisfaction at the healthy state of postgraduate studies here in the college and the wonderful advances you have made. On behalf of the National University of Ireland, I extend my heartiest congratulations to you also. Thank you.
That concludes the formal proceedings. If I can add my own congratulations to our graduates today. If I could take the time to thank our conferences, events and portering teams for managing 4 conferrings over the last 2 days, and also to sincerely thank your PIs, the wider administrative and academic staff for making such a contribution to all of your success today. Finally, I'd like to invite our graduates and your family and friends to join us for a reception in the College Hall. If I can please ask you to be upstanding for the outward procession. Thank you.